It is. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this morning's meditation. We are rocking and rolling in Scorpio season and so many crazy, incredible timelines unfolding and in the midst of. So we're just calling this one today's meditation, the Scorpio timelines. We have some fascinating astrology unfolding, a little bit of uh, Black Moon Lilith and Venus, those two coming together. We've got Uranus and Jupiter doing some retrograde action. There's all kinds of really dynamic, interesting things happening in the field, and to even begin to try and figure out how it's impacting and what that looks like for each of us uh, it's so far afield. There's so much noise out there in the field, I should say. It could be landing in so many different ways and places for each of us, whether at personal, work, you name it. And it could be really high, it could be low. It depends on what timeline we're each connecting to and how these different elements are showing up in our charts. So, what feels really important today is to focus again. We were working timelines last week. We're going to work them again this week. Really hone in on the timelines and recognizing that Scorpio is about not just the death, but the birth cycle, right? It is here. It is a huge water sign. It is the final cardinal sign of water. And in that, it is the coming through the gate, right? The final gate, the collective gate back to us as souls being able to like do it, to do the thing, to then birth ourselves into the fiery sign of Sagittarius. So, with that being said, as it relates to what we're going to do today, the meta expression of ourselves, we're going to be dropping in to, especially as we're coming to the, starting to get into this energetic of closing out the year. And for those of you tracking with me on the group work, the Templar, the Venus Templar work, we're running a lot of azure flame energetic right now, a lot of future vision energetic, which makes sense because we're starting to just now look into 2026 and capture that. But it also has quite a bit to do with, again, we have Pluto coming in and getting ready to lock in for the next 20 years. We have, we've been in this massive portal really since the summer. So, there's been a lot of work that we've all been up to. Never mind this massive kite that's been here. If you've been following and tracking with me in these meditations, we've been showing up every week to just work these subtle nuances and identify what these minor tweaks are within these meditations, to be most positively centered as we can be, to draw our own meta expression up so that we're able to capture these big timelines, right? Be on our highest expression of our own personal timelines, because now is it, right? Now is that window to really harness these timelines. So, with that being said, let's do it. Let's dive in. Today is an important one. Today is all about capturing, harnessing your truth, um, how we kind of allow ourselves to stay rooted while in the energy that comes up in it is like a weed, rooted in the seabed, right? As the currents are just gorging, right? Like a massive current is raging past, trying to rip those weeds out from beneath the surface. So that's really what this field and energetic looks and feels like. And if it's tracking for you personally, if your personal stuff is tracking, um, well, let's drop in. I'm not going to go through the different expressions. Okay. So, with that being said, welcome to our meditation today, taking a nice deep breath in. And let's just celebrate today because you're here. Today, just being here gets to be your pattern interrupt, which is so critical. Uranus and all of its activity, it is the planet of pattern interruption. It is also like the mind energetic, right? Far beyond the adrenals, which Mercury and Mars were doing a lot of work in the last couple weeks. They've settled down. Now we're shifting much more powerfully into the Uranus aspect of the kite that we've been running in. And that is really heavy mind energetics, in not in the way Mercury, the way we associate Mercury, but just the mind. And then we have this nice Venus deep energy that is here, and it's conjuncting up with Lilith, which is just going to be like that grindy, edgy, like I need to settle this thing, right? I need, like, there's resolution or there could be tension in there that you're feeling. So today gets to be, but it's there to help you springboard, because when, like, if you're on a trampoline and there is no tension, you are not going to fly high, right? So it's like Lilith and Venus are down there triggering, partnering to create in your deep well this tension so that you can hit that high jump, like that bounce. Like, yeah, in the bounce you're going to go low, but like you get to fly, right? And as you fly, that Uranus energy is really been activated to help you as it goes retrograde. It's going to help you capture the field and be able, like, your mind has been clearing out to be able to really hold it. So that's what we're going to do today, is bring all of this together, feeling the roots as well as feeling the heights. Nice deep breath in as you send your intention and focus up to the sun. Let it all come through, feeling the sunlight shining on the top of your head, cycling your breath in and out, rolling the shoulders, twisting through the spine if you need to. Really get some twisting motion going to crack open that core energy center. Breathing in and out. Feeling that sunshine melting, warming your face, rolling your neck, looking up to the above, feeling down to the below. Okay, and as you feel that sunshine coming in, shifting your focus, second part of our light link, to the earth beneath your feet. And again, because we're doing Scorpio, let's go ahead and take ourselves right into the waters. This time feeling as you wiggle your toes, imagining yourself beneath the ocean and feeling the sandy roots as though you are that deep ocean seaweed with roots reaching into the ocean floor, gazing up to the above, gazing up to the above. It brings to mind the goddess Sedna trapped beneath the current, riding the currents, making these deep energetics her own and her home. And the mastery behind that is timelines are the rivers that run beneath the surface. And they're here for us to choose from, to pick from. And when we think of karma, karma is nothing more than, where are we rooted? Where are we weighted? What stories are we holding that keep us trapped or attached to the wrong timeline? And what I want you to invite you to feel into now is Sedna. Fascinating. I wasn't thinking we were going goddess today, but as Sedna takes us down into the roots, she was held by a series of beliefs in judgments based on her culture, her family, in particular her father. And while there are many, many um, lessons and teachings from the overall story, one particular fractal of Sedna's story is the beliefs of her tribe and her father that were imposed upon her. We're not going to get into like the other layers of Sedna's choices or anything else. It landed her deep within the ocean waters. But I want you to find your own stories that were passed to you from not even necessarily your own father's lineage, but maybe an in-laws lineage, maybe just the masculine in general that you've brought on or assimilated into your life that has impacted how you perceive time and timing and your value and your relationship and your identity. And I know that's a lot for the mind to process. So I just want you to wiggle your toes into this energy field. There's a consciousness here. And we aren't going to label the consciousness. I just queued it up. But what I want you to feel is that energy being pulled away, like a shadow being pulled out of your roots, being extracted from your roots, as though there had been a darkness there. Let's let the energy do the work, a consciousness that you have been embedded in without your own awareness. That in this moment in time has kept you maybe on the sidelines of your life, on the sidelines of your power, because you came to understand your reality in a fixed capacity. You're only capable of so much. In Sedna's case, she's the story of victimhood. And so while you may not and have overcome your own victimhood, what stories, especially as it relates to the masculine, and again, it could be energetics of how your mother line held masculine energy as well. So don't attach too much to it. That's why we're letting the energy remove itself. But the storylines of victimhood that have kept your ability to source constricted, that have choked these roots. Consciously, you know you're not victim. Energetically, you know you're not victim. But how many victim energetics are around you? How many collective stories and victims are you supporting in your life or contributing to? for those you love and around you. And it's not that it's bad, it's not that it's okay, but where is your power going to support? Just out of love. Today we get to claim no more. We get to draw our field back. And it's one of these things where you, like the ocean, right? And like the weed standing in the kelp forest, if you will, we can't see exactly where, because this isn't one, victimhood isn't necessarily one of those glaringly obvious things. It's like it's hard to see the trees in the forest above the surface. It's even harder underneath the surface. It's murky down here, can be. Let's let this, it's turning into a kelp forest, and I'm seeing little otters swimming about, and they're carrying little golden nuggets, little oysters, or whatever they're up to. But let's let this kelp forest be plucked clean of all of the victimhood energetics. And if we're left standing as only one thing of seaweed alone, then so be it. Breathing in and out, trusting your power coming into this field, landing in your center of truth. Trusting this field's ability to clean it up as you set this intention that those you love that are holding this energetic and the ways in which you are holding the field for them will still be nurtured and cared for. It's just no longer you. And as you feel yourself releasing these bonds, that's what it feels like almost. Truly, truly offering them love. I find each of us drifting to the surface, to the sunlight at the surface, connecting to that golden flame of identity, pure, unadulterated identity, rising again, birthing again in the sunlight, purifying. And so we came into this calling forward the timeline of what's present and what's relevant, in feeling beneath us that current of old timelines. And as we look now down at the surface of the ocean, it's almost like you can see the weed line of the old current, of all of that energetic being released and recycled. But it's an old timeline and not one you would want to swim in. Allowing yourself to drift and to float as you gaze upon the sun, still within the ocean waters, letting yourself be guided to your timeline, your highest and best timeline. Again, these timelines run deep within. Sensing this timeline that is yours, less the victimhood, no longer like a shore that we are caught upon or a stuck current caught in the weeds, but a fast moving current. Carrying us where our soul is seeking to go. It brings forward, because I think of like a kelp forest and it's full, it's nutrient, it's an whole, its own biodiverse ecosystem. But as we're seeking to evolve, we're ready to move out of those storylines, right? And we get caught up in something like the currents of the ocean that can transport us globally around. So let yourself be caught in this new timeline. Let yourself be lifted up and start to feel that current, right? Just carry you. Let yourself be caught in the timeline, your own future timeline of that oceanic energetic, that Scorpio energy rising, carrying you forward to where you need to go, and really let it begin to swirl. Let it, I'm seeing some, like if we were to look at the planet and the ocean currents, and I'm seeing it just like going on hyperdrive and spinning. And for some of you, I'm seeing like a vortex of energy spinning. Key point being, like, get immersed in whatever this energy wants to do. And what's really true here around all of this is that to evolve into the next, we first must know who we are. We can't let go of ourselves and become the next, to become the next thing, if we don't know what we're letting go of. So today we've come through that process of recognizing where we've held certain aspects of our identity. We've released that to open the space to allow for new identity to come in, new timeline to come in, new anchor points to come in, to allow new truth to emerge. We are a series of mixture, but in true alchemical fashion, to become that mixture, to become the new identity, we must first know what identity we are bringing to the mix. It's like baking the cake batter or making it. As soon as you pour in the sugar and the flour and the water and the oil and the egg, like you're never undoing all of those ingredients. You're never getting the egg back out or the sugar back out. And once you place it in the oven, you're never unbaking it. But you have to know what you're putting in. So in this moment, let yourself become that Scorpio function. Let yourself bask in the sunlight in this golden timeline. Taking a deep breath in, allowing these waters to mix and to alchemize, to clear out the congestion. As you release those you love, empowering them to find their clarity as well. Scorpio is truly a purification field. Can feel a lot messier than that, but truly it is a field of purification. Ultimately, with its final step, a rising like the phoenix out of the waters, through the fires, out of the ashes, into the fires, I should say, as we will ultimately move into the fiery gates. And so, with that, letting yourself feel the immersion into that golden light of the sunshine, coming all the way back into the room, into the moment. And welcome back. Namaste. So much love. I will see everyone next week.